them back nor hate them back. You are just a black hole sucking the whole thing where they disappear. That's how Swamiji said that you are the Big Bang and you're also the black hole, because you're a microcosm reflecting the macrocosm, the Brahmanda and the Pindanda. Okay, so this is how the black hole happened in you. When the hatred, you basically suck the whole thing in. Understand? The black hole. You're just a black hole sucking the whole thing, and they just disappear. So he said, I tell you, whether by love or by hatred, he said, this is the thing you need to understand with Guru. If you come near me, you are gone. What do you mean you're gone? Either you're gone to enlightenment because you dissolve into me by love. Let's say you have Guru Bhakti, devotion, right? Either you merge into me in that, we call it into enlightenment, or you dissolve into him. Where if you are hatred, that means you dissolve, you will come back again into another form. Do you understand? So either way, you also dissolve into him. Do you understand? Because he's a source. Next slide. So to me, this was like a huge click. So that's why I said, wow, this is such a very powerful click that makes us drop all love and hatred. It just become empty. See, he said, contemplate on this. Whether by love or hatred, if you come near me, you're gone. You dissolve into me by love, and that is called enlightenment. When you dissolve into me by hatred, that is pralaya, that dissolution, that's all. But you dissolve into me, which means we go back to the source at the end of this birth, either into enlightenment or into taking the next journey. The dissolution happened. Okay, so just take a few minutes to contemplate on this sacred secret that Swamiji revealed in this insight. How this whole game of love and hate triangle, okay, love-hate triangle that we think that exists as a law on planet Earth. If you understand that, then you will drop all this. You just become your heart will have the capacity to hold the love for millions of people. You will expand. That expansion itself will make you become that's what Chinese say, da ai. Love without reason, causeless love. So that is what, how, when we drop this, love between a relationship or hatred between a relationship, we drop all this and become that openness to share, to be able to embrace everything and everyone. That kind of space brings so much more transformation within you. And this click itself makes you understand how the whole cosmic law function, right? How the whole cosmos operate. Not based on the human logic or love-hate relationship. It is beyond the human logic. It is about, coming back to the source, realizing the source, and when you have hatred, you just delaying that dissolution into enlightenment by love. That's why Swamiji say again and again, you can't love others unless you love yourself. So all begins with self-love. Transformation happens only when you have self-love, right? So when you have self-love, but a lot of time we cannot love ourselves because of our past hangover. we have self-doubt, self-hatred, and self-denial. So loving yourself become a huge barrier. You try to find fault in yourself. The way you talk to yourself, you criticize yourself, you blame yourself, you feel guilty. All these kind of things, basically the work of society, the conditioning by society, and you're so habituated to talk to yourself in this way. As a result, you're not able to completely open to love yourself. The self-love is missing. So without that self-love, how are you going to jump to enlightenment? That's why the Guru happened. Guru happened in your life so that he makes you fall in love with him. Because, obviously with the Guru and he happening in life, so many sweet things happen, so many great things happen. So over a period of time, you fall in love in that sense. You rise in love. There's no falling. It's rising in love with the Guru. So when you rise in love with the Guru, and then the moment the Guru Bhakti is established, of the self, loving of your own soul, right? So that completes the whole cycle of, making you realize who you are and having that self-realization. Understand? The Guru is the bridge for that to happen. That's why the happening of the Guru is the greatest thing when you have Guru Bhakti. And be very clear, Guru Bhakti happens by Guru's grace. He said that you can't fall in love with him unless he make it happen. Okay? You cannot have devotion for the Guru unless he give you that grace. So when you have the grace of the Guru, continue your self-effort. Because you need self-effort to continue to receive the grace. Some people, after receiving the grace, become lazy, become, never put in self-effort to raise themselves. So then again, they fall into, the fall out of the Guru's grace. So he said, when the moment you receive the Guru's grace, continue your self-effort, and then more Guru grace will be showered. And then you could keep this cycle go on till you reach the enlightenment. Okay? So that is the click for this love-hate triangle. Understand? Yes? Anyone? Thumbs up. Those who are in the Zoom with me, or a little bit above your head. So when Swamiji talk about the truth that this love triangle, that there's no enemy, there's no actual enemy, because even you treat the person as enemy, he doesn't even think that you're the enemy. So which is the truth, right? So then why waste your time in all this, triangle, this love-hate triangle? Instead, rise up, with the right understanding so that you can expand into the self-realization, and not get trapped in the smallness of the human relationship. Six secrets. So this is a secret that he reveals. So listen carefully. Say, as long as you carry a certain identity, you will always feel that society is adamic towards you. That means society is not, not dharma to you. Okay. He said your logic is filled with past. That means your thinking is filled with all these wounds. Past means what? Wounds, right? When you have wounds, means pain, right? Suffering, pain. He sees only from your side. If I judge whatever is done to me by the society and see it as Adamic, my logic will become past, right? The logic becomes past. It's like, oh, I've been tortured by all these people, what society has done to me, and all this kind of thing, right? So you must know the context of what Swamiji is saying. Swamiji is one of the most persecuted enlightened beings in India, you must know. Because of his mission, the Hindu forces has to do all kinds of things to stop him from what he's trying to do for the revival of an enlightened civilization, which is Kailasa. So they know he's here on a mission, okay? And obviously, for many, many years, he has gone through numerous assassination attempts, numerous persecution, numerous, allegation on him, creating fake video, morph video, a lot of fake news and scandal that they try to create to destroy his credibility as a guru, as an enlightened being. So he said, if he were to judge what is done to him by the society, putting him on in 53 days of jail in 2020 for no crime he committed, they were just setting him up and then catch him and put him in jail, even though he didn't do anything wrong. So that kind of thing, and having to go through a lot of medical tests that torture his body during that period as well. So he said, if he see that, if we want to view that as Adamic done to him, he said, then Swamiji's logic will become parts. He said, please understand, society is not a group of people. Society is the other person. It is not collective. So if you feel somebody as your enemy and cannot tolerate his patterns, please understand that God is giving you the opportunity to diagnose yourself, because you have exactly the same problem. So this is a reflection for you to understand that very idea of enemy or friend is based on your perception, which itself is unstable. So let me read this part again, okay, so that you can catch what Swamiji is trying to say. He said, if you feel somebody as your enemy and you cannot tolerate his patterns, his nonsense, what he's doing to you, please understand that divine, Paramashiva, God, whoever you call, is giving you the opportunity to diagnose yourself, because you have exactly the same problem with so-called the enemy that you perceive. The very ideal enemy or friend is based on your perception, which is subjective. Subjective based on your experience or what you cognize or what you project. And that in itself is very, very unstable. Okay, next slide. That means it flicks and change over period of time. So he said, do not wait for wounds in others to be healed in the course of time. Do not wait for others to heal the pain you're carrying inside you. That means, okay, let's say the person is trying to find fault. You don't wait for the person to be healed, then because the person had hurt you, don't wait for the person to be healed. Say, be proactive in healing the wounds and pain in others. That means go and complete with the other person. Same way, be proactive in healing the wounds and pain inside you by dropping them. First, you dropped all the pain and hurt you carry inside. Complete that and drop it. Then also be proactive in healing the wounds and pain in that person that you feel that you have incompletion with. Okay? So don't wait. It's just like, you don't talk to the person, or let's say you had some incompletion with your mother and you just didn't want to face it because you're so angry with her, you feel she had done a lot of damage to you and destroy your life, and you feel that she's not to be forgiven, that kind of feeling you carry. He said, no. He said, because this wound you carry inside, if you don't drop it, the wound that the other person's carry also will happen. So you first complete by dropping this wound or the pain that you have suffered, and then just once you're done with that, you do the same. Be proactive in healing the wounds and pain of the other person. Okay. So if you have a problem, both of you sit together and understand it. Every interaction should create more intimacy or more trust for you in that person and vice versa. If your every interaction with another creates more trust, you're free from identity. It is not impossible, okay? So this is the catch thing you need to know. Why you need to do the healing? Why you need to do completion with yourself and others? Because when you complete within you, you'll be able to face the other person. You no longer carry the hangover of the incompletion. Once you're able to feel at peace back to the space of completion, then you have the courage to do the completion with the other person. He said, if your every interaction with another person, right, creates more trust. That means every time you work with people around, you create more and more trust. That itself, you'll be free from identity. That means your ego will just be dropped. See, the identity you feel more and more entrenched is because this is how you feel as you are the pain and hurt or suffering. That kind of suffering, thinking, all this pain, it wouldn't make your ego much more stronger, strengthen your identity. And the moment you are able to do the completion, you just drop your identity and you become, open to realize that you are also part of the source. You're in everything and everything is in you. So he said, please understand what you think of as the hurt you cause to others may not be the real hurt. What they think as hurt is the real hurt. So listen, what they think as the hurt is the real hurt, not what you think as the hurt you cause to others. Understand? What they think is the real hurt. So you need to bring completion to the other person because the persons perceive the incident differently in how you treat them. So the person is at the receiving end and the pain and hurt is caused to that person. The suffering is caused on that person, not what you think you cause as hurt of that person, because you do not know that person's how they feel. Understand? So in the same way, what you think as hurt others has caused you, what you think, let's say your mom has caused you or your dad has caused you, may not have been done consciously. Just forgive them, just let go, and so that you can heal yourself or in the relationship. This is so true because for me it happened in the same way. I remember in 2012, I attended the program, year-end program, which is 21-day inner awakening, but it's on a cruise. That's December 2012. And there was a year Swamiji introduced completion, signs of completion, Punatwa. And in one of the process, he told us, you have to complete with your parents, okay? And I remember I resisted because I had deep incompletion with my mom. And he said, if you don't do this process, because he gave us a few hours to do it, and if you don't do it, you cannot attend the program tomorrow. So because, the next day's initiation is based on this homework you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do completion with your parents. And I was like so stuck. So it's like I'm cornered. I cannot run anymore. And I'm really on a ship. I cannot run. I cannot jump and run back to take a flight and fly back. I can't. Like in VDD, I can just say, okay, I don't come to the program. Just call, a taxi and run to the hotel, pack my bag and just leave. No, I can't. So I'm literally on a ship. I was like, what can I do? So I braced myself. And thought through how I'm going to talk to my mom. So of course I first do it within myself, then I talk to her. So the easiest person is my dad because I didn't have much incompletion with him. So, for him was just, a few minutes job. Then I told him, hand the phone to my mom, okay? So this is where, my heart started racing and all that. And when the whole thing happened, when I was explaining to her, why I called her and what is this all about, and I can tell her I was so surprised. My mom listened throughout in silence what I was talking. She let me talk. And after that, what her reply to me was really shock to me, okay? And she said one thing. He said, at that moment, I didn't know what I was doing. When that when I heard that word from my mom, my heart just melted. I couldn't carry any more incompletion with her. I just knew she was also a victim of her own life, and also which created that incompletion, and she did what she did to all of us, the children and me. So, and that moment I was totally, it was, everything was forgiven, and I just completed with her. And from then on, the relationship with my mom has been so good, even till today. So it's just amazing how by not running away and really do take the time, don't wait for the time to heal, and really, do it as what Swamiji said. That took a major shift, not only completion of my biological mother, but when that happened, the completion with the cosmic mother can happen. So it's so important, to complete with your parents. So I just wanted to share my personal experience as well. Next slide. So he said, in the same way, you may not even know of the hurt you cause others. It's true. Sometimes you blare out something without knowing how you hurt that person. So ask them to forgive you. This is the signs of forgiving, the signs of gracefully moving ahead. Standing up even when you feel that life and humanity do not behave dharmically to you is Jiva Mukti, living enlightenment. See, even you think that life or humanity had done a lot of bad things to you, it's not according to Dharma, the cosmic law. But if you are able to stand up and not feel this is done something wrong with you, this is living enlightenment, Jiva Mukti. That means don't get affected. He said, so he gave this Punatwa Kriya process, which is completion process, right? He said completion, Punatwa Kriya is restoring the completion with the different incomplete parts of you, which are sitting in others as well. Because your incomplete is also sitting in the other person that you're not complete with. So first make a conscious resolution or intention. I'm committing to being complete in causing completion for myself and for life. And for life, I'm enriching myself to be in completion. That means in the space of completion. This is the first thing you need to declare, that you're committed to get back to being complete and causing completion for yourself and life. Okay? Because you want to enrich yourself. Next slide. So while doing the Punatwa Kriya with others, that means when you're doing the completion with others, there may be two possibilities. You say, you may have a strong resistance to some person, like what my case with my mom, I was having that resistance because of the fear and hatred. I had both fear and hatred interwoven into that relationship. That time. So it was so strong that you cannot even think of facing that person and talking to that person. It is true when you have this strong emotion of fear and hatred. Because my mom is a very ferocious person. She has a lot of violence, so I have a lot of fear for her when I was young. At the same time, I was angry with her because of what she did to me. So I was like this combination of fear and hatred in the relationship. So the thought of talking to her was like, how am I going to face her? It was such a, difficult thing, so much resistance at the time. But I'm glad Swamiji made us do it, and when you do it, only the most auspicious things can happen. So if that is the case, first sit in front of the mirror and invoke the person's presence in the mirror. Let's say you're not able to face the person yet. Then do it with the mirror, okay? Or even Swamiji's Murti, if you have a Murti at home. Just invoke the person in Swamiji's Murti and talk to the person. See that person sitting in the mirror. Connect with that person by making eye contact with him or her in the mirror. Relieve the incidents that happen between you and that person, and then talk to the person in the mirror until you experience completion. So this is what you can do if you're not able to face the person yet. Okay? Next slide. So he said, if you are on talking terms with the person, at least you're still comfortable in talking to that person, and you're comfortable without major resistance in communicating with that person. Then talk to the person directly, either in person or, if not, talk over the phone or Zoom call is also good. Just talk to the person. But if you still feel that you're not able to face, at least talk to the mirror or the murti. And then once that's done, then we can feel comfortable to face the person. If there's no access to even a phone or through communication, through email, you can even do it by email. If there's no access to email, also sit with the mirror and connect with that person in the mirror and do the completion process. So this is what he says whenever you in handling incompletion relationships. Okay, so next slide. So he said, do not wait for others to heal the pain you are carrying inside you. Be proactive in healing the wounds and the pain in others. Same way, be proactive in healing the wounds and pain inside you by dropping them. So you only can drop them when you complete, when you do punatwa. So swapunatwa, which is self-completion, then punatwa with others. Okay? So if that is what you're facing in terms of relationship with different people, again and again, this is what Swamiji remind all of you. Don't wait for others to heal the pain you're carrying inside. You take responsibility to heal yourself. Get out of that powerlessness. Get out of that incompletion. Take action by being proactive. Once you heal yourself, then the other person can also be complete with you, be healed completely. Okay, got it? Don't procrastinate. Don't wait for them to come and say, oh, I'm going to do completion with you. No, take initiative. Next slide. Let's go to the last insight for this week. Insight 64. New Gen, the great possibility. Okay, so Swamiji gave an insight. He said modern youth are constantly complaining. If you heard the modern youth, this is what their life is all about. Complaining, feeling deeply dissatisfied, feeling unfortunate, feeling miserable about the whole entire world. That the whole world is, torturing them, taking advantage of them, or making them sad, whatever. This is what has come of modern day youth. Understand? See the common picture of modern day youth: depression, addiction to drugs, and suicide. Dying. It means either they commit suicide or because they can't face the world anymore. They can't face themselves, not face the world. So they do all this kind of the 3D: depression, drugs, or death. Right? The triple D. Which is, if you look at that's what is happening. Drugs is because they're trying to escape from the reality they're facing. They cannot tolerate the misery or the pain, so they take some kind of entertainment, as a relief, whether it's into drugs or into some alcohol or into some kind of substance abuse or some pornography or any kind of distraction. It could be gaming, anything to distract them, to temporarily relieve them from the reality they don't want to face. Okay, so the youth were never in such a mess earlier on planet Earth. So Swamiji is telling the youth today is facing a bigger mess than what our parents or our time were facing. This has happened because of all the traditional mechanisms which give guidance and training to the youth from a young age are completely broken, destroyed. See, in the past, let's say in India, they used to have a lot of guidance, whether it's from guru, family guru, or some kind of school, Vedic school, that help them to resolve these kind of issues in their life. So they were able to get back quite quickly. But this new generation has become identityless. It means they completely lost the identity of who they are. They have become culture orphans. Means what? Because of a lot of globalization, a lot of modernization, and of course in digital world that they're living in, everything become boundarless, right? It means without boundary, right? Without cross the border anymore. So basically what it means is that the whole globe has become like a one big community. If you're on social media, you can feel that your it doesn't matter where you are. In those days we used to stay only, like say in Singapore, for instance, or in a little village in India. Our world will revolve around there only, correct? Around where we live and the people that we interact with. But right now, the internet has brought this whole global village together, right? We're now living in this whole global village. And of course, with different culture, different thought patterns, different habits, everything is interwoven into this one big melting pot. So this melting pot is making youth, because they're constantly being exposed to the digital media. So they also get influenced, conditioned by these messages from different media. And that's what Swamiji said, they have become identityless because they have forgotten their roots, because they are embracing this so-called new era, I would say the new generation. And they have become culture orphans. So that means they don't know their own culture anymore. They lost their own culture. Okay, next slide. So he said modern youth are constantly, simply, next slide, sorry. So on one side, it is unfortunate that you have become cultural orphans. On the other side, it is fortunate because you can easily be led and can move to enlightenment. So Swamiji see as possibility. He say, yes, you have become culture orphans because you lost your identity. You do not know your roots. You don't know the utility value of being a Hindu. You've forgotten your all these signs that make our culture great. What all the enlightened masters has created, a great life for us. You've forgotten all that. You've become a culture of orphans. But he said, the other side, on the other side of the coin, it is also fortunate because it can be easily led and moved to enlightenment. So he said the new gen means the new generation of you who are young, energetic, well-built, and joyful with pure awareness, radiating bliss, and also raising the whole team around you to bliss. That means the people they interact with, they can raise them to the bliss. So that is what Swamiji defined the new gen. He wants to basically train or develop this new generation of youth who radiate, youthfulness, energy, and have a well-built yogic body, as well as radiating pure awareness, bliss, and become a powerful force for humanity, for the collective consciousness. So enlightened living is new gen's living. So this is what he want to tell the youth. Enlightened living is new gen living. Parvati Swarupani, this should be the message for the e-Guruku for youth. Look at it from that context. Look at that from not just their problem solution. Look at it from how to inspire them, because they are looking for solution. They are looking for inspiration. That's why they go to social media to learn something, because they feel school is so boring, school is torturing them, school is irrelevant. In fact, today I just saw a video on TikTok. One guy was just crying. He said, look, I completed my diploma or degree and I'm in debt because they took the bank loan to study, okay? And then now they cannot find a job. There's no job for them. So he said, he's he feels sad that now he has no job, he can't repay his bank loan, and then he has put in so much effort just to finish the paper. And Swamiji already said this long time ago. He said that the modern education is going to be useless, redundant, because whatever you study can be found on internet. And the world has already evolved so much. You're like putting so much time and effort, wasting your life for something that is going to be redundant. And parents are still not understanding that. They send their kids, oh, please go and study and get a degree. And then after that, they come back and they say, oh, there's no job for you. Do you understand? So this is what is happening now. So basically, we need to get to the pulse of the youth facing today. What is happening in their life? How can we see? For us, we have all the solution for all the problem on planet Earth. Swamiji already said it again and again. But before we can, give the solution, we need to attract them. We need to bring them to engage, right? So all over the country, you say, I want akadas to happen. Akadas means the environment to train these people, places where people practice the techniques to create a yogic body. So I train them to develop a yogic body and develop a Vedic mind. That means a mind that is filled with powerful cognition, the truth of the cosmos. We have to become yogis. So he said, only when you make them become yogis, they will start to become the powerful new generation. You need to become a yogi. So how to make them a yogi? You need to make them live a yogic lifestyle, right? You need to introduce Charapada, the science of enlightened living, right? Living the enlightened lifestyle. But before we can even catch them, they're all running in other parts of society, trying to get entertained or abuse their body or, getting distracted. This is the challenge with how to go and catch them. How to attract them. Then the message we send to them needs to be relevant. The message the way we talk to them, you need to get their attention. They need to say, wow, okay, this is interesting. Let me check it out. Next slide. So he said the human civilization has to understand its responsibility towards the happiness of the youth. Happiness is not just a choice for the youth. No, your happiness and you being productive is an important element for humanity as well. For humanity now, he said now. He said, I want the new generation to be completely stable and experientially established about their identity with themselves, with the people with whom they are living with human society, with the universe. So Swamiji want to make sure they're complete with themselves, with the people they live with the society at large, and then of course with the cosmos. They should be very clear about themselves, about what they want to do and what they feel like doing. They should understand relationships issues, not just relationship with people, but also relationship with the entire whole. Means the whole cosmos. The new gen should be very responsible about what they're creating around themselves. So that kind of sensitivity and awareness need to be given or awakened in this new generation. Otherwise, they will live in darkness, in ignorance, in full of incompletion, suffering, and obviously gradually destroying themselves, self-destruction. And we cannot afford that because they are our future. That's why we need to step up to see how we can reach out to them. But they are not coming because maybe the way we talk to them, the way we entice them is not clicking, because they are in a different world now versus our time. So we need to learn how to get into their world so that whatever we show it, they can relate, resonate with them, and then they can feel that they want to come and at least give their listening to us. When they are not even coming, how to get their listening, right? Next slide. So if the next generation is not the new gen, humanity is not going to have any more generation. Understand? Listen, Swamiji's new generation. If the next generation that we have is not the same new generation, which is what we need to develop, there will be no more generation. That means there's no future in that society, because we have already reached the peak possibility of destruction. Anything that they do, they can just destroy themselves. If one mad person becomes the head of the atomic country, right, that is enough. They just go and press one button and then the whole planet will be destroyed 700 times easily. We have enough weapons to destroy planet Earth at least 700 times. Okay? The build out of the weaponry in different countries globally now can destroy planet Earth 700 times. It's that much of distrust humanity have among each other, because they only know violence, they only know attack, they only know power, but they don't know how to coexist. Only Vedic tradition or Hinduism give the context of coexistence, non-violence, ahimsa. That is, in completion, being complete with each other, because you experience everything in you and in them. That means feel the oneness with everyone and everything. Only when you experience that, you will not create enmity. You will not try to, you'll flower differently and you'll see world differently. So we say humanity will disappear, planet Earth won't be there anymore, ball will be missing from the cord. So if you want to keep this planet Earth, this beautiful planet Earth for the next generation has to become new gen. New gen is my only hope. Understand why Swamiji is encouraging so many kids to take sannyas, the kids to become, to go to Gurukul, to do, to get back to the root. Understand? This is the reason why Swamiji wants to develop the new gen. Without the new gen, we don't have next gen. Next slide. I think we come to the end of this. So let's do a short meditation based on what he has spoken in this last 4 insight. So contemplate on what Bhagavan revealed today for 11 minutes. So I'm going to play the Mahavakya for 11 minutes. Just sit. See, allow whatever truth that have been revealed today to sit inside you and see what comes up for you. Okay, what comes up for you? So now, let's sit now. Close your eyes.
I welcome you all with my love and respect. Let you all open all your three eyes.
Of all the four insights, meditate and contemplate on them. Whether it's love, hate triangle, whether it's being open to the master, whether it's new gen, the new possibility, all the different insights that have been revealed today.
Paramashivam. Nithyananda 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 Paramashivam.
Relax. And open your eyes. So, I hope you got some insight from Swamiji. The whole thing was just filled with the youth, the new gen, Swamiji is like, so much information about the youth and new gen. I was like, okay. Anyway, so we finished the last few slides. Okay, go on.
Can I ask two quick questions?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I wasn't quite fully understanding two things. One is when we talk about the love triangle, right? How about like, for like marital couples, spouses, then that's a direct line to each other, right?
So what is exactly the question first?
I mean, as in because Swamiji says like, love at, it's like a triangle, right? So it's like not a straight line to each other. Then, I mean, I'm just wondering the context of how about like, let's say married couples, then, A loves B and B loves A, right?
Okay, so your question is in relation to marriage, right?
Correct.
What makes you think that the marriage is one straight line? What makes you think so?
Okay. I mean, I do understand that there can be very destructive couples lah. But
No. So in the first place, what we think that is, the one straight line relationship between couples, right? Sometimes it's not that straightforward, right? Right now.
Okay.
Otherwise,
So
how people 出轨, right? How people 出轨, right?
okay, so you're saying as in like they may not like A and B may not like love each other,
Sometimes it's
but
a
let's say
marriage
they
of convenience, okay? Marriage of convenience, a lot of time for external gains. Whether you marry into power, marry into money, you marry into some kind of convenience or some kind of arranged marriage, whatever it may be.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying now? A lot of time is that kind of bondage created. So because it's bondage created, obviously it's going to end up in suffering, right? And of course, the suffering is the person become incomplete with each other, they hate each other, that kind of thing, right? So, but even like say they hate each other, the other person may not actually. I mean, we understand Selena's case. Right. Same thing. It's the incompletion may not be exactly what the other person is thinking. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I see. And
Correct.
the other question.
What's the second question?
The other question is, you mentioned like society is the other person, is not collective. I don't quite understand this.
Can we go back to the slide so that we can pinpoint which part? I think it's the let's try to catch it. Which slide is it? That shows Paul is listening. Which one? Not here, right? Next.
Talking about society, I think it's towards the back.
Towards the end, right?
Yeah. We are talking about.
Is it this inside or another inside?
I think it's the next one, either 63 or 64.
Okay, next one. No, 63. Next one, the heal yourself one. I think it's the heal yourself. Next slide. Don't wait for others to heal one. Next 63 inside. There's still 62.
Yeah. Okay, this one. Yeah, the second paragraph.
Before the completion.
Previous slide. Pass already.
The first slide on
The first slide on 63. Yeah.
go
First slide
back.
on 63.
63, inside 63. First slide, I saw already that statement.
Mm.
Society is the other person is not collective. Okay, this is the part that, so maybe we read from the context from the first paragraph, then you enter this, okay? Because without the preambles, you read this statement, you will not be able to connect. He said, I want to share one basic secret. As long as you carry certain identity, you will always feel that society is adamic towards you. Okay, so because of this identity, you don't feel the oneness with everything in the society. So you will feel society is not dharmic, okay, towards you. So this is the first statement he made. He said, your logic is filled with past. So it means our logic, the way how we cognize about the world, about ourselves, about society, is not rooted in reality, correct? It's filled with past. It means a lot of suffering. Past means wounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you got hurt by society, by the people in the society, so you feel a lot of past. That means a lot of pain. Past will create pain, right? So it's only from your side, right? Because this is your experience of the society, correct? It's, so far you're with me, right? So
Yep.
he said, I judge. Then he talked about his personal experience, right? Swamiji's, how society had done so much of what you call that? Damage to him, correct?
Yes.
So he said, if you use logic, then the logic will fill with past, become past. Okay. So that means he said, don't evaluate what society has done to you with your logic. First, drop the logic. Okay. If you use your logic to evaluate, then you will feel a lot of incompletion. You say, how can you do this? You know, your human logic will only stay in certain level. You will not be able to come from the cosmic logic. Cosmic logic view the whole thing differently. Correct? Correct? Then he said, please understand, society is not a group of people. Society is the other person. It is not collective. So society, okay, I'm not talking about collective consciousness. Society does not represent collective consciousness. Society is basically what you perceive as the other person in your perception. In your mind, your logic, you see society as the other person. You don't perceive society as make up a group of people. You perceive the society as someone who make you incomplete or filled with past. Okay? Do you understand?
So which means we will always think like, oh, society is always on the other side and always has kind of like differing views.
Correct. Because it's your logic, because you will see me and enemy. So you would think the enemy is the other person. But the reality is that if, let's say, you look at the cosmic logic, it's a collective consciousness making up of many people's thought current, correct?
Yes.
So, but in our logic, this is what we see as the other person, because we are not able to see everything as collectively. If we use human logic, only you connect at the being level, you see this as a collective consciousness. Do you understand, Paul? Got it? So he said, don't use logic, because if you use logic, you will feel with past pain and suffering. That's why people feel they're not able to get out, because they're stuck in the human logic. That's why they become suicidal. They become depressed because they are using logic to evaluate what is happening, which is not a fair thing, or it's not the reality that should be, which is not the reality they are experiencing. It is based on the logic they're cognizing the world in this way, and they are trapped in that. Do you understand now?
So which means actually this term society, actually it's also dependent on each one of us, right? Because each one of us have
Course.
different. That means
Your
it's
society and my society is different, right? It's it's individual experience of what you call as society, isn't it? Who you mix with, who brought up, because even your parents is made out of society. Parental conditioning is part of society. Peer peer pressure is also part of society, and the people you mix with. So all these are in a short is very subjective, correct?
Yep.
It varies by individual. It's not collective. It's not the reality of the overall collective conscience of this whole planet Earth or this whole cosmos. That's
Okay.
what. Got it?
Yep.
It's
Got it.
based on the logic. Okay, so now shall we conclude? Thank you for asking. So the last few slides, please attend the Paramashiva home, and please, I see you next week. So let's end with the session. I think we overrun. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sovam Bhagavad Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Paurika Paramastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you for coming, Nithyanandam.
Thank you. Just
Well,
to share that the Phoenix was affected by Swamiji's voice just now when you
It's
played
big cat now,
Mahabharata.
fatty cat,
Yeah, she's Swamiji's kitty as well, so she was attracted. Thank you
Okay,
all.
Nithyanandam, bye bye.
Bye bye.
Big fat cat.
Yeah, it's cute.